Welcome to this week's Business Updates with me, Michael Hardy. It's fair to say quite a lot about inflation and the impact of inflation this week, as we've got news that prices are rising for the fastest pace for 30 years. UK inflation is now at 7% in the year to March, the highest since 1992. And unfortunately, this is not the peak. This is not going away. We've not got the energy price hike that came in April in these numbers. So this is going to continue to rise. So how is that impacting you? Have you noticed an impact in your business? Have you noticed an impact at home? How are your staff coping with this? Are you having conversations to understand the impact of these cost rises? So first impact that we're seeing is that the growth in the UK is slowing. So basically people are spending less money than they were because they're looking at saving money, they're reviewing where they're spending it. They're obviously concerned about the impact on their household income. So growth in the UK is slowing. Now, the real gap between inflation and therefore the costs that people are finding is the difference between where the wages are rising and the inflation. Now, in the public sector, that's at its the greatest. So it's about 3% difference. So their wages are going up by approximately 4%, but obviously their wages won't keep going up. They'll have had their wage rises. The private sector, it's not quite such a big gap. They reckon about 0.5%. However, for business owners, where you're being squeezed by having to pay more for your staff, you're having to pay more for your goods, maybe not being able to increase your prices, I'm sure that the real challenge is at 7 or greater percent. So for business owners, it is a real challenge in terms of the net inflation gap. It's not even at 3%. I suspect it's more than that. And with sales slowing, what is your plans? What are your plans in your business to ensure that your business is safe and protected over the coming months if you see a downturn in sales and you continue to see an increase in costs? What can you do in your business? What does your forecast say? What does your cash flow say? How much reserves have you got built up over the past year? So let's ensure we've got a plan, a forecast, a cash flow for our businesses that takes into account a slow of sales and a rising costs, because unfortunately we're seeing both of those hit all our businesses at this time. On a slightly lighter note, the World Cup draw was made a couple of weeks ago, and we now know the times of games, certainly for the first stage of the competition. Now, this is happening not in the summer as usual, but in the back end of November. The first game in the competition is the 21st of November. And there's going to be 4 matches a day between 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. How does that affect your business, your employees? Are you going to see a heightened amount of holidays at that time? Is that realistic? How are you going to support your employees who want to watch both the local international teams like England, maybe Scotland or Wales, but also other games that are happening? Something to think about. It starts on the 21st of November, 4 games a day, just before that peak Christmas period or right in that peak Christmas period, which is unusual. So how is your business going to cope with that? We're putting on a free workshop on the 5th of May, Stop Selling, Start Influencing. If that would be of interest to you, please click the link or contact myself or David on our details here. And also, if you want a free 30-minute one-to-one with either of us, there's also a link to our calendars below. Have a great rest of the week. All the very best.